Hi everyone, it's Laura with Following the Paper Trail, and today's my Get Messy day. I'm doing a couple of my messy tutorials that people have been asking me to do. This is the one from my Strike a Pose album that many of you have been asking how I made the tags out of the canvas that I have in this album that I've gotten great response on YouTube, and I thank all of you for your wonderful comments and how I painted the canvas that's used on the cover. I'll do another tutorial later on of how I did my paper bag album. I know there's tons of paper bag tutorials, but I'll also show you how I did it with my cover. But today I'm just going to show you how I make the tags. The tags have two layers. They have a canvas layer, then they also have a backing fabric layer. This is pillow ticking. You could actually use any fabric. You could actually even use paper for that matter. And what I've done is taken the pillow ticking and the canvas, cut them both the same size, and these are about 3 by 6. I've then gotten some Fuse-On interfacing. You iron it onto the back side of a fabric. It's made out of a Pellon material. It gives it a little bit more body, especially if you're going to use a lighter weight fabric. Pillow ticking is kind of like a light duck type fabric. But go ahead, follow the manufacturer's instructions for fusing that to the back with your iron. It varies from the different kinds of Pellons and how much heat, that sort of thing, that you're going to use. Now, to paint my canvas, and this is just plain old canvas from Walmart. Actually, you could get everything here at Walmart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it with some gesso. This is just the stuff that oil painters, acrylic painters paint onto their raw canvases before they do paintings, and it just is going to prepare your canvas. I'm also going to be using some just the inexpensive acrylic bottles of paint that you can get at Walmart, Michael's, Joann's, that sort of place. I have a beige, kind of a pale beige color. I have kind of a taupier, a little bit darker color. I have a real pale gray, and I also have a real pale blue, as you can kind of see on my butter tub lid palette. It's just those real kind of sand soft colors. You could do pretty much any color you wanted to, but this just kind of gave a kind of granite feel. And then I've got a little bit of my gesso. Got an inexpensive, cheapo, ratty looking brush. Rattier the better, because what I'm just going to do is take, you might want to have a little bit of cup of water nearby, maybe get a little water on your brush as well. Get some of that gesso, and you're just going to dab it on, brush it a little bit. Be messy. You don't have to cover the whole thing. Maybe some areas are solid. Leave some of the canvas showing through. This is one of those, don't think a whole lot while you're doing it. As adults, we tend to overthink things. So kind of go back to kindergarten when playing was your ultimate goal. So you can see I don't cover the entire thing. Leave some areas. And then I'm just going to start daubing some of that paint. Now you're not going to do it everywhere. You want to leave some of the white showing. Make some of the areas maybe a little darker. Maybe have a little gray more over here. Look at like rocks in nature. They're not overall in uniform. If you've ever painted a wall, sponge painted a wall, it's kind of like that. In fact, you could use sponges, but I like using my ratty little brush instead. So then I kind of have my colors kind of where I want. A little bit of white showing gray, brown. Maybe just a little tiny bit of the accent of the blue. Be really sparing with a color like that, because then it can really punch up. Maybe a little bit over here. Also, don't work it to death. Just little bits here and there, because the more to dab it, the more it's going to mix together. So basically, that's painted and ready. Now, I'm not lazy. I'm impatient. So what I typically would do then would take my blow dryer and blow dry this to get it dry. Now you will find it may shrink just a little bit from its original size, which matched this one, but it's not going to be significant. After this dries, get my paint off my hands, that's when I'm going to go ahead and decorate it. Here I've cut some paper that I went ahead and sewed onto my canvas, glued on, just regular plain old glue like I usually use to glue on some lace, and a little die cut. But I get everything put on my front side of my tag, and then I will layer it together, the front side, so that the front side that I just painted and the striped side of the ticking are together. And then I will go ahead and I just stitched closely. Don't have an access to a sewing machine, not a big deal. You can just glue those together using your favorite glue method, and it still is going to come out looking cool. So you don't have to have a sewing machine. Just gives a really nifty effect. I did, however, one thing I did do is I did trim the shape here prior to stitching it, so you can cut it to the shape you want. Use some paper tags. If you've got some paper tags, use them as a pattern to cut that corner. You just need some sharp scissors. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but it's really super easy to do these tags. Looks like I did a little bit of pale green on there as well, not just the pale blue. But you could do pretty much any color. You could do dark colors. You could do dark grays, dark browns. Maybe put some silver in as an accent. But just kind of play then with the shape of your tags. As I said, I stitched everything down prior to sandwiching them together, and then I stitched it down. So really easy, fun, easy to do. Get nice and messy. Love that. I figured today was the day to do messy stuff. I'm going to get my nails done tomorrow. I have to give my nail gal a tip because she always can tell when I've been playing because my hands get to be a mess. You can also do large pieces in order to do like the cover that I did on this book. So fun and easy, inexpensive. Just gesso and inexpensive acrylic paints and a cheapo brush from the hardware store. That's all it takes. Anyway, so thanks for watching.